guys, my name is Mark from Jazz Guitar Lessons, and in this video I want to talk about what to do when it's not working. And this stemmed from a conversation on the group, or the Jazz Guitar Accelerator of my private students, with Bob and Jim and other people. If you're watching this, you know who you are, thank you. And what I'll do is go over certain things that can make or break your playing, and also big stumbling blocks for people. So to make sure that you don't fall into these traps, make sure that you use your time effectively, and that there's a mindset shift around the kind of things that you execute on the guitar. Playing jazz is never an easy thing, especially if you're new to playing jazz. So I believe I will be breaking this video down and mostly talking about 3 topics. So stay tuned and see the timestamps below to get direction on that. The first thing I want to talk about is the principle of outcomes. And I'll try to say this in as little words as possible, but there's a difference between a process-based goal and an outcome-based goal. Let me give you an example. There's an outcome that I'm looking to do, which is win a gold medal at the Olympics. All right? And the outcome is not something that is under my direct control. Although I can train and go to the Olympics and win the medal, I don't have a guarantee that it will happen, because there's unknowns. For instance, maybe my body is going to be sick on that day and I can't perform, I can't really compete. Maybe the other people that are training for the same event run faster than me because they had better training, better nutrition. I don't know, right? There's a bunch of things that may get in the way. So the thing that I can control is the process. So this is always something I get back to with students and going, all right, you are looking into doing an outcome-based thing. I'll give an example. For me, I want to improvise fluently on giant steps at 200 BPM. So the chord progression goes by and I want to improvise well on that. So if I'm not aware of the difference between a process and an outcome, I'll get here in my studio, grab the guitar, flick a reel or whatever, or ask a good bass player friend to play 200 BPM to run through giant steps and fail. And then I come back the next day and fail. And then come back the next day and fail again. And the process here is not taken into account. I'm just trying to do the thing I'm trying to achieve, and I don't have a plan to get there, and I may pout and go like, nah, I can't do it. What happened? Well, here's the difference. If I'm looking to do that outcome, there's a certain process I can follow. You may also have sub-outcomes. So I want to do 200 BPM. Why don't I have the goal of doing 150 before? And maybe I'll be able to do 150 before New Year. And then, see, I can break it down like this. But further than breaking it down, I can go back to today and find out what I can do as far as a work plan in order to achieve that outcome. And that's what I mean by process. So the process may be to analyze the keys of the song on paper. Okay. Practice the scales at 100 BPM diligently without stopping. All right, that may be another process. All of those are processes that are 110% under my control. And this gives clarity, and it stops that frenzy, this madness that I develop and going, I can't do the thing, and yet I'm working hard on the thing. So it's work smarter, not harder, avoiding resistance, going back to what I actually can control. It's pretty zen, right? Saying, I'm letting go of the stuff that I cannot control, and I'm looking 100% at the things that are under my control, on which I have 100%, 120% ownership. All right, let me give you another example. Recently, I got this guy for my son. It's a Rubik's Cube, and I had my little obsession. I think he's a bit too young for the cube, but Dad is not too young, and I started to obsess over it and look at it. So I can show you, I have solved at the bottom, and now the bottom 2 layers. So I'm in the process of reshuffling it, rebranding it, and going again and being able to at least do that part. But imagine myself with an incomplete Rubik's Cube and going, I want this to be done. That's the outcome. And just pouting and being in a bad, it doesn't work, it's not working, and turning and going back and not, right? That would be a mindset to be. It's pretty childish, but it's a good comparison. Going, well, if I want to do it right, there's this face here that's red and white that it needs to go there, and I need to know the process for doing that. That's going to happen. Doing it as a process is 100% in my control. And also, no shame, finding some Russian YouTuber showing how to solve it is also 110% under my control. So that the outcome may be that, that's a great test of IQ, right? I was a bit ashamed. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even do this. So it may be that in a month or 2 or 3, I'll be able to take a 3x3 Rubik's Cube and just look at it and solve it because I remember the process and I know it's under my control. And I may forget parts of it, and the process of remembering is also under my control. But the process, the outcome of getting it all solved is the product of a process, right? So that's a biggie about the process side. I hope it makes sense for you. Let me know if you have any questions or comment. And now let's go to item number 2 on our list. All right, so another great point of discussion with my students is the concept of objective versus subjective evaluation or assessment of my own playing, and also discussing the goalposts. So one big issue that I spot in students that are too hard on themselves, by the way, I do these videos as much for me as I do for you because I'm in essence talking to younger Mark in ways, and I've seen famous YouTubers say that. It's just advice for the guy, the me of the past in a way. Although sometimes I can say I wouldn't give younger Mark any advice in the fear of messing things up. Yeah, we'll find out about that. And we're not in Back to the Future regardless. So here's the thing about goalposts. I found out that students would film themselves or record themselves somehow, then watch the thing or listen to the thing and go, I'm here, and actually I want to be there. And in my instructor mind, I go, says who? Like, who are you to determine where the goalpost was after the fact? Right? Dig it? So I would say one of the best cures for this is to find what we are trying to accomplish before accomplishing it. So I see it like a game of darts. I have a center and I have this aim and I'm aiming for this and I throw my dart and then I can assess whether or not I wanted to do this. For instance, I want to do Blue Bossa. I want to do 2 courses of improv, so it's 16 bars each, and I want to do the first course around scales and the second course around arpeggio, and I'm going to improvise with those tools. Record, listen back, and I go, did I achieve that goal? If so, I can put a check mark. Yeah, I know, it's not black or white, and there's an gray area of fluidity going, did I completely do it well? I would say, is it mostly there? Are you like 80% the way there? And if you are, awesome. What else would you like to accomplish, right? So this objectivity really helps the mindset of going, well, what I'm doing is not working. Well, not working. Define working. What did you want? Well, did you want to win a Grammy? If so, well, you're probably not doing the right thing right now. You need to start networking if you want to win a Grammy, right? Whatever. But that essence of subjectivity that comes after means that often, myself included, we will record ourselves, put it there, and then watch it and go, yeah, but actually my goal was here. And it's really easy to do because that is a state. And the state is dissatisfaction. It's the plague for artists and musicians. It's a plague for me, actually. So look who's talking. So to get away from subjectivity and having higher demands on myself, what I will do is create a goalpost. That's why I call it goalpost, because if I don't, and I'm sneaky, and I just record and watch myself, I will move the goalpost. I know myself. I will just go, yeah, actually that wasn't good enough. Good enough is a complete illusion. I can establish goals, and I can often have a goal for recording and go, oh yeah, I didn't meet the mark. I dropped the ball on that one. With that in mind, knowing that I had something I wanted to achieve that I fell short, I can say, at least this is clear. What do I need to do to get there? Maybe it needs to lower the bar because there's a bunch of intermediary steps, processes that we talked in the previous step, right? Or that I can do that, but I just fell off. I was off on that moment. I didn't feel well. I didn't hear well, or, maybe a guitar string broke down, or my amp wasn't set up properly, or the weather was, whatever, arthritis. I don't know. It depends. But in our last gig, the biggest hindrance was the coffee blender, the coffee grinder, the blender, the machine for making the smoothies. It was pretty loud. So you're taking a solo, and it's like, boom. That thing is not in time. That thing does not care about you. And it was a great place to play, but the thing is like, oh, it happened. So if I fell short of my expectations for that, is there a reason that the expectation was there and it fell short? It doesn't matter. I can tell myself, what can I do to maintain my focus while playing this scale or this guide tone while the blender starts in the coffee shop so I keep my focus on the song? It's a process of extreme ownership. A great book by Jocko Willink, by the way, even if you're not into military tactics and stuff. I'm not, but it's a great book for learning to know oneself and also learning to learn. So that's it. So having an objective view on what it is that we're recording, and also not going, I'm going to beat myself up on the head, like beat myself up all the time whenever I watch myself play. Like, no, you went for something, and now you're saying, well, I'm not Pat Metheny. Yeah, no one is Pat Metheny. I don't even think Pat Metheny is Pat Metheny on most days, all right? So what we hear that Pat releases on record is the cream of the crop of the cream of the cream of the cream of the crop of Pat, because he's doing multiple takes. So think about it. If you're playing a coffee shop and you're not super satisfied that you don't sound like Pat, you're setting the bar way too high. And we'll address that in the outro of the video. All right, so we have so far talked about outcomes that we can't control, number one. And focusing on a process is a solution. Then we have talked about objective versus subjective, watching myself, and also the fact of these pesky goalposts that I get to move and dissatisfaction. So what to do instead is to have clear goals and strive for them, right? And I mean even in a performance, but it could be over several months or a year or more. Now we're going to talk about the third step, which is, I will call it intuition. So a student on the program actually commented on a post and said, it's like golf. If I'm here and I go, this thing's going to water, right, I know, I already know it's going to water, I always miss that shot, plus my previous 2 holes were not that good, and my friend told me I'm not on my game, so I let that go. What do you think is going to happen? Yeah, the ball's going to water or sand or whatever. I don't play golf, I'm just saying. While my student said, if I say, good shot to the green, above the water and the sand traps, it's going in right there. Even if I don't make it to the green, at least I'm in a state of peace. Think about it. I get to choose how I lie to myself in my mind. So I wouldn't call myself optimistic by nature, and some of you that know me personally know that, I ruminate and I ventilate, and sometimes I'm negative. I hate traffic, No, I don't hate traffic. I hate people in traffic. There you go. So I get to choose that. And it's the same with guitar. So I would say the visualization aspect of what we're trying to achieve, even if it's true or not that I'm going to be able to reach the outcome, I can keep the outcome in mind and go, yeah, I'm getting there. And true or not, that's a Tony Robbins thing. He calls them the lies of success. I can lie to myself and go, I'm doing that. But whether it's true or not, the biggest impact is on my inner state. Like, I'm at peace knowing I'm doing the right thing, the right process to do that thing. I'm not going to revisit that outcome every note I practice, the giant steps thing. I'm not going to revisit it, right? I'm going to look at it once a week, once a month, or whenever I spend time with myself to review my plans and to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Or when I meet with your instructor, by the way. If you're interested in Jazz Guitar Accelerator, see the link in the description, book a call with me. I work with a really small group of people on achieving 4x results in a really short amount of time, and it's guaranteed, and there's a bunch of bonuses, whatever. It's free to book a call with me, by the way, so do so if you're interested in joining. If you can't join or we can't see a fit, we can't work together, I'll still suggest other processes that you may use to reach your goals, all right? Now, knowing that I can lie to myself, I will find out and meet with your teacher to redo your plan once a month. Yeah, that was my advertisement for myself. I get to be in peace that I know that I'm doing the right thing. Whether that's true or correct or true in a bigger sense with a capital T or not, doesn't really matter. It means that I trust that I'm doing the right thing. And when I am in that state, I'm like, I'm not sure, I've never done this, but I think I'm doing the right thing to improve my golf game or my Rubik's Cubes game or my jazz game or my improv on giant steps game. When I trust I'm doing the right thing, there's a sense that an effortlessness takes place. And that's a great place to be, because guess when results will show up? When we least expect it. And I've seen this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times with students. It seems like there's a plateau, and that's like the tedious work, the practice and the shedding, whatever. And it's like, boom, you get this sleep. And I hear Steve shooting a video. I'm like, I can't believe it. How could you play like that all along and you were just like faking it and hiding it from us? Like, no. So the guy actually did that. I'm like, whoa, okay. When does that happen? It happens when I'm in my zone, I'm in my lane, I'm focused on my process, I'm letting go of that outcome, and then if there are things that need to come to me, they will. And that's a form of faith, if you will. Faith in the process, not like religious faith. Trust and faith that the building blocks will come. You're watching this YouTube video, you probably really like guitar and jazz, right? If you're still watching, it's because there's something going on. Trust in yourself and use your intuition to go, yeah, I really don't feel like doing that. I know Mark or this other YouTube guy said that's the exercise, so this book says I should do X arpeggios. If it's not aligned and you're like, I know I should, but no results are going to come out of that. So that's, I'm not into that, but I'd like to just mention it. The Tao, right? T-A-O, Taoism, and the spirit of Wu Wei, which is, don't quote me, but effortless action. So it's not passivity, it's not passive, it's doing things when necessary. It pays off huge dividends in life and health and business and relationships. So I think I have a tendency to want to overwork to get to the outcome, while the best thing to do is just to trust the process, do the process, and let go and be at peace. And just, if you just ignore these goals, and if you just put them aside and go like, yeah, I'm not gonna, and just be silent, these goals and things and outcomes that you want, they will just surrender to you. They will roll in front of you like a dog. Please pet me, please grab me, right? That's the thing. It's like the less attention I give it, the more it's likely to show up in my life, which is sort of a philosophy that I wish I would be into most of the time. Again, I make these videos for me as much as I do for you, but this is a really great place to be for anyone. And I did personally experience the results with that, and students as well. So let's just wrap up this whole video, and thanks for watching, guys. All right, conclusions, wrap up, and thoughts. So number one, let me know if you have any comments about this. It's a pretty sensitive topic, and people going, yeah, I'm gonna watch Mark talk about this thing for 15-20 minutes, but I'm not better at whatever. I hope you've gotten a lot of input and thoughts on how to do that, which is beyond the scales, the chords, the tunes, etc. If you're looking to learn the tunes, the chords, the scales, etc., please join the Jazz Guitar Fellowship. It's totally free. You get all my resources, you get to hang out with me and all the other students, and you get the same process I apply with my private students, all right? And there's also the blog, so jazzguitarlessons.net/blog, hundreds of tunes, licks, lessons, whatever, plus all these videos here. So you can find what you need to work on your technique. This present video was more about organizing your thoughts and mindset around how to get there, right? Now, be compassionate towards yourself. Again, me talking to me. How compassionate are you in doing that process? Give credit where credit is due. It is a hard endeavor. Whether you're learning jazz and you've never done it in the past, you're doing something new, or you're learning boxing or chess or whatever, it is a hard process. So give yourself credit, take the time you need, and be good to yourself. You know, you need a tap on the back. There's always an instructor like me that's going to say, oh yeah, no, fix that fingering, do this, do that, do that. Yeah, there's always something to be fixed, but there's also the looking back over the footsteps. I record myself, I watch and go, wow, I have this archive of all these years of playing. I'm getting better and better and better. It's pretty encouraging. And when I have these goals that I'm trying to control an outcome, in a way, I forget that I came so far, and I forget to be grateful that my fingers work, that I live in this place, that I can come to the studio and just, I have great ears that can allow me to hear me, and the fingers work, and I get to play with people and share that information. It's magic. This is a miracle happening every day for us. Look at this. You're there. I don't know who you are, but you're there. You're watching me. And I'm just alone in this little studio. When I reframe, I'm like, everything is a miracle. It is crazy. This does not work when I'm stressed out about my outcome. Okay, so be compassionate. Think of giving yourself credit. Plus, last thought, it is a language that you're learning. People say often with jazz, oh, you mean like the language analogy? And I was, no, it's not an analogy. It is a parallel. And here's why. Let's put it this way. When I learn a language, which is English, my second language, my second and only, I have two, French and English. I'm not thinking about the grammar. I've been sitting here shooting this video 20 minutes. I have not thought once about a period at the end of a sentence or capital letter or a verb or a tense or an adjective or adverb. I haven't thought about that. I have thought of ideas, and then I trust that I have the tools of the language to express those ideas. I may have reshot the same video to say the same things, but not use the same sentences and words in the same places, but the ideas would have been the same, if that makes sense. I trust that my language skill and vocabulary knowledge of idioms, etc. will do the job. So when I play music, it's the same thing. I'm trying to develop vocabulary, not for vocabulary's sake, but for expressing ideas that are beyond that. So the ideas that come out are a product of knowing that language, but the great improviser, the Matheny's, the Schofield, the Miles Davis of this world were absolutely not thinking of the grammar while they were doing the ideas. They were conceiving of them as ideas. And music is completely abstract because, language or say visual arts, I can always talk about an elephant and I can always draw an elephant, right? The concept of an elephant. I can always make the sound an elephant makes, or I can have a texture that feels like elephant skin or ears or whatever. But in music, what does that signify? It is an abstract art form, which is a biggie, right? And that's why I say learning music, it's a parallel to learning a language. It's not an analogy, it's the same thing. Because the point of freedom for an improviser is like giving a speech, almost as if I would be giving you a speech about anything. Like, all right, I have this glass of water, whoever you are, take the microphone, talk about this glass of water for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Wow, what are you going to talk about? You're going to conceive of thoughts and whatever it's going to come out, but not even once will you be thinking about the grammar and the vocabulary and whatever. You'll be thinking about your ideas. So that's the point you're striving for in music, which means the vocabulary and the tunes and the this and the that have the purpose of self-expression for yourself so that you can transcend the language and not just think of, I'm plugging D Dorian here because, right? So reaching that point is a pretty challenging endeavor. It's a lifelong pursuit, and I hope you have fun doing it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're doing it as a labor of love, because if you're not, you're poisoning your own life. There, I said it. If it's a drag and a hindrance to your own life, do stuff that makes you happy. Wow, I just said that on YouTube, right? Go figure. And if it does make you happy, but unhappy sometimes because you have the process and the this and the that, then we can talk. Shoot me a comment here. Let's book a call, and I'll see if I can help you reach your goals. And I would say that this is like 80-90% of the game, the mindset. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Leave anything as far as questions or comments or future topics for videos in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon on jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher. Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye.